Hi, it's Rob from the Brush and Boltgun. Today we're going to be doing a quick tutorial on how to paint a Black Templars chapter badge. So the first colour we're going to use is Vallejo Black, but any black will do. And what you want to be doing is painting just a black square on the shoulder pad. Now, if you can get this as central as you can, that's fine. If not, and you need to edit the edges a little bit later with a bit of white paint, that's not a problem either. As long as you get like a pretty straight square in the middle of that shoulder pad. As I say, if it's not perfectly central, you can slowly edge the lines over to either side or above and below just to get that pretty square. And once you've got something you're happy with, you can move on to the next stage. So now we're going to be using a little bit of Vallejo white, and this is to put the sections in the corners that go in towards the centre, like the cutouts. I find the easiest way to do this is to draw a line directly from one corner to the opposite corner. And once you've got the two cross lines going from opposite corners, you can then start widening them up to give the Templars chapter badge the cutouts that it has. So when I say the cutouts, I mean in each corner you basically have almost like a triangle of white going to the middle, and then the four black triangles will join up. But the easiest way to get the triangles on the outside is to paint the cross on, widen them up, and then you can just tweak the black triangles so that they all join up in the middle. You'll see that coming together in a moment. So you can see here I'm widening the triangle in the corner. That's just slowly coming out from a central point in the middle there, getting wider towards the edges. If you just do that in each corner, as always when you start doing this it's going to be a little bit rough and ready, and then you can slowly tidy that up as you go, and then the more you do it, the more you will get the technique for it, and the better the chapter badges will be. Slightly off camera there, sorry. So you can see they're looking slightly uneven, triangles. And here we're going to square off that because that triangle is far too long. That's how we've ended up with it. So you can see the triangles are all slightly different shapes. Doesn't look too good at the moment, so what we do is we'll be going back on with a little bit of Vallejo Black now and tweaking them and getting them into the right shape. As when you're doing any freehand work, you want to be really adding the tiniest little bits of colour each time just to tweak it. You don't want to be sort of like splatting that on. Once you've got the little tiny triangles in the corners, you can use the black to slowly spread out the triangles of black, and then start bringing the shapes of them together and working out if one of them looks too thin at a certain point, widening that. If it looks a bit too wide at a certain point, you can thin that down. It's all about basically just working the shape out ever so slightly with each brush stroke. So you might only do it like 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters, but it's just to tweak that shape and work the shape into the way you want it. Okay, so now we're going to add the little cuttings at the end of each black triangle. They have like a little triangular cutout, so we're just going to paint the white on for that, on each one. You might notice as I'm painting this, I keep turning it to look at it straight on to see how it looks. If by doing that you're actually seeing what part looks wrong on it, so if a bit needs widening or thinning, as I was saying earlier. So the reason I keep looking at it square on is just to keep checking that what I'm painting looks right. And when you're doing this, you will do the cutouts, get them slightly wrong, make one of them too deep. But again, it's the same thing as when you're doing the triangles on the corners or anything. You just want to be adding a tiny little bit of paint just to touch up the area where you've made it look wrong. So if it hasn't got a point anymore, you want to use a tiny little bit just to get that point on. If it's too wide, you want to use a bit of the opposite colour just to shrink that down a little bit. If it's too thin, using the same colour just to widen it out again. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. We can move on to the next section. So this is speeded up by 4 times now. So it's going to be a lot quicker. This whole section is probably about 5 minutes long, something like that, 6 minutes long. So speeded up, it's a lot quicker, but you can see how slowly I'm going. Just slowly working those triangles. Filling out the black there. Checking the corners, looking at it again, seeing where it looks too thin, adding a little bit of colour. It's basically just working like that around the whole thing until you get it even and how you want it. So where we've used the white paint to go over the black, we no longer have the shading there. So what we're going to use is a little bit of Apothecary White, Citadel contrast paint, just to touch up those areas where the contrast has been gone over with the white, just to blend that back in again. Because the contrast is so easy to work with in this way, it does give you a nice quick fix for fixing the shading. If you haven't watched the full Templars video, I do sing the praise of this Apothecary White. It's a really, really good colour to get if you're painting things white. And with that, we have the finished Templars chapter badge.
Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. Also, think about subscribing to our other social media linked below. Thanks very much.